After being on tour for quite a while in September, I felt like it's time for another practice challenge to get back in shape and to push for greater heights. I decided to practice guitar for at least 3 hours each day for the next 30 days and to share the results with you at the end of this experiment. So after watching this video, you will know my personal suggested daily practice time, how to create the perfect daily routine for your own goals, and how to finally stop wasting time with ineffective and outdated practice concepts that get you absolutely nowhere. But first, we need a plan. My goals with this challenge are getting back in shape with my more complex techniques and playing styles like alternate picking, clean and very relaxed at very high tempos. On tour over these last couple of weeks I was also practicing, but I was mainly going through the set list over and over again before the shows. And since I was playing for a pop/rock band, there wasn't a lot of shredding in there. But instead of just focusing on technique, I also want to become a more creative and unique player/musician. So I want to further learn how to actually put all of these skills to good use, to hopefully create awesome songs, short performance videos and unique compositions for you on this channel, and ultimately to further my music career. And here's the big dilemma already. You can easily put BPM numbers and goals next to your technique exercises, and your practice plan will be well structured, similar to a workout plan if you're into physical fitness. But how do you actually become the creative and unique player you're destined to be, aside from just mastering all of these techniques? So to be completely honest, I didn't have an answer to this very important question on the first day, so I just started like I always do, warming up my picking motion, moving through different blocks of exercises, working intensely on all techniques that I need for my own playing style, and ending the routine with 30 minutes of improvisation. It felt really good to be back at it after a couple of weeks of playing live and basically just traveling, and I was totally pumped to do it all over again the next day. After around 5 days, I felt like I was back to my best shape, and I even made some slight adjustments with my playing that got me possibly better results. I stopped grazing the strings with my picking hand thumb, with fast alternate picking for example, further limiting and controlling the unwanted noise that often results from that. And I also experimented with lifting my picking hand arm a little bit from the instrument for an extra speed boost with very tricky and fast alternate picking lines like this. So to sum it up, although the routines were quite long, I was still very motivated and ready to keep going. The days were basically flying past and I was really hooked on this new routine that I will share with you in detail in just a moment. But at one point I realized that I didn't make any progress creatively at all. I hadn't written a single song yet, so every day I just pushed down that big and important question from earlier, and I told myself I'll do it tomorrow. First I need to get back in shape, I will figure out something later. Until it hit me at around day 15, half the time was already up and I was simply procrastinating.
That's unacceptable.
So quite productive procrastinating on the outside, because I was practicing quite a lot, 3 hours each day. But when it comes to music, to finding my voice as a player and to growing creatively and ultimately to furthering my career in music, I had made exactly 0 progress so far.
Great job!
So to change things up at this point, I decided to split my routine. 2 hours of practice time to become a better and more efficient guitar player, and at least 1 hour to become a better musician and artist in general. And let me tell you something, my friends, that is where things really started to take off for me. First of all, I was much more focused during the 2 hours of technique drills in the morning. After experimenting with the 3-hour routine, I can confirm it gets really tough for me also to stay locked in mentally past the 2-hour mark, and practice only really pays off, in my personal experience, if you're 100% here and in the now. The so-called and often talked about flow state, where you kind of lose your sense of time and you become one with your instrument. Secondly, I was also always really looking forward to this second part of my daily routine. And of course, after working on technique for 2 hours, I was fully warmed up, because I'm sure you can relate to this. Usually my songwriting sessions started with firing up the workstation, picking the perfect guitar, tuning that perfect guitar, warming up a bit, looking for the right guitar tone, and then over half the precious time that I had blocked for my creative endeavors was already over without actually accomplishing anything.
Disappointed!
And lastly, although it might look like this at first, this block was actually not all about just having fun and jamming with the instrument. It also made me a much better guitar player already in just roughly 2 weeks. Why and how, you might ask? Because when I wrote new material for the channel or for Spotify, I always made sure to challenge myself with not using the old familiar chords, not always using the same old scales and patterns, and basically not just doing the same thing over and over again every single day. So I even completely switched tunings or did some crazy experiments. And you guessed it, this actually forced me to practice the material quite a lot before I could actually start recording it. This new creative block that was now embedded in my practice routine inspired my technique blocks as well, because as soon as I started working with completely new, different and very unique patterns in my creative work, of course I also ran into some brand new issues with my playing that needed some work, and I would have never even discovered them if I would have just practiced the same exercises for 30 days. So this natural, extremely effective ecosystem between these two blocks suddenly started to form, and I never ran out of ideas of what to practice. I never practiced the same stuff over and over again too much, and of course I also got a lot of things done creatively. In fact, at the end of this 30-day challenge I got a pretty crazy idea and I got quite inspired. I filled my acoustic guitar with water because I always just wanted to know what that sounds like, and then I played a new original song and composition on it called Waterworks. Over 1 million people listened to my new song across multiple platforms because it was a pretty unique premise, I guess, and it even ended up making headlines in Guitar World magazine, which is pretty crazy. But enough of that, what's your big takeaway when it comes to all of this? Taking myself as an example, I feel like I made a huge leap as a player since I started uploading on YouTube 3 years ago, but I recently did feel like I was often playing the same exercises, and it was also often hard to break out of my usual shredding and playing ideas, so my comfort zone as a player, so I sometimes also felt a bit stuck creatively. But honestly, just in those last 2 weeks of the experiment, I felt like I had a huge progress boost once again, and I think I finally found a system that works absolutely great for me as a guitar player, but also as a musician and artist. So to help you out as much as I possibly can with all of this, I outlined my exact and most effective practice blueprint so far, with easy play-along videos that you can follow step by step by just practicing with me, with guitar profiles, backing tracks, PDF tabs, and everything else you could possibly ever need on your journey on patreon.com/BERNTH. And I will also personally guide you along your journey in our secret closed Facebook group, where I give detailed and personal feedback to student videos and questions every single day. That's exactly why we are the world's #1 biggest and most productive music community on Patreon. And trust me, this is exactly where you belong if you currently always feel kind of frustrated when you're picking up a guitar. It's time to change that once and for all today if you want to break out of this rut. So just click the link below and I will talk to you inside. Thanks so much for watching. Greetings from Vienna and have an awesome day. Bye bye.